and then come back directly following votes. But Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing. To the witnesses, thank you for being here. It's been a slugfest, and there isn't a better, more important conversation to be having right now. And I appreciate my colleagues on the Democrat side that we need to have a focus on deficit. We need to continue to have that. It's been absent since in my time of Congress enough to be able to see policy driving forward to do that. The truth is we need a strong economy. A strong economy will produce revenues. We've seen a consistent 17 average percent as a portion of GDP pre-tax cut, post-tax cut. That's just data. So we are still seeing strong revenues even with tax cuts that we did in 2017. That's where the focus needs to be. Now, there's a looming deficit that grows continually, and our interest that we're paying on our debt is what is growing the largest budget line item that we've had, and over the last 4 years, that's been increasing about $200 billion a year. That's where the issues come in. That's where the deficit comes in. But our only saving grace, our only fighting chance, is to maintain a strong GDP and continue with revenues increasing. Look, it's important to highlight, again, we've touched on it a lot. My district, the average taxpayer would face a 20% tax hike if TCJA expires. A certain part of this bill that's very important to me and my team and my district is for me to be laser focused on building the pro-family and pro-growth reforms from TCJA to help American families, communities, and small businesses thrive. Ms. Marple, I appreciate your testimony. Your story's awesome, very, very important, and I think that a lot of people could relate to about the child tax credit and how these reforms in that 2017 bill provided tax relief to your family. This illustrates the great work that was accomplished in 2017 and how we can build on this this year. So the reason I wanted to be on this committee is because I knew this was looming, and this was an opportunity to reestablish that. Yesterday, I introduced the Family First Act, legislation to streamline and simplify provisions in the tax code and to support working families with an updated and enhanced child tax credit. This will provide tax relief for parents with young children and create new tax credit for pregnant mothers. Ms. Marple, how would either a baby bonus or increasing the CTC amount for children under 5 provide a tax relief for working families, and would this have benefited your family?
Yes, thank you for the question. When your family's growing and your kids are young, a lot of changes are taking place. You're changing jobs, childcare looks different, you need a bigger house, you need a bigger car. There's a lot of pressure put on the family, and life gets really busy. Adding a baby bonus or something like that, like you were referring to in the bill, would definitely help compensate for all of those big changes that a growing family is facing.
You're highlighting flexibility because you're going through a lot of change. As my kids get a little bit older, they would be mostly outside this range. We're still supporting those families, but and recognize that it's still expensive. Kids are expensive regardless of their age, but particularly in that first 5 years, the change that happens to the parents and their situation it's important to make sure that we address that. So thank you for that. This is something we're really excited about. I think it takes a look at tax provisions that have been around for a while, and when things get stale and have been around, it's time to shake it up a little bit. This child tax credit is a huge increase, and my Democrat colleagues should be very supportive of this. It's a huge increase, but it also offsets it by taking a look at antiquated tax policy that probably needs to be changed or eliminated. And we're doing that, and we're creating a more pro-growth, pro-family approach, and I look forward to continuing to drive this forward. We also introduced the Small Business Growth Act, which would support small business growth by helping small businesses obtain equipment necessary to buy their operations. We've talked a lot about this. I'll just quickly ask Ms. Gallagher and Ms. Silver, anything to add on how important it is to be able to up that? Instead of $1 million, it's going to increase to X number of dollars. It's going to help small businesses be able to buy their equipment and get that right off it. Anything to add to that?
I can certainly agree with it 100% that is an incentive to investment, and I would look to our actual business owner here and how she would respond.
And you're talking about section 179?
179, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Increasing
it's an increasing of the threshold.
Yes, that would help us tremendously with planning and drive investment, which makes us more competitive and gets our customers what they need.
And a point that I make when I'm back home is I say, okay, If you have that ability to invest more equipment, guess what? That other company that's selling you that equipment, they're now paying more taxes. Because they're excited about their business growth. So they're paying. We are still contributing to tax revenues. It's not a decrease in taxes. It's actually spurring significant economic growth, and that can't be discounted. Thank you so much. I yield back.
All right, we will recess until after votes, and then we'll begin right